engine is out of control. She's running away. Look at that. That's a not happy V8 in there. Look at that thing. Customer states, my old Jeep has a high idle and they don't want to drive it. Apparently this thing has been idling at about 2,000 RPM and they can't get it to come down. Now there's some history on this truck. The fellow that owns it's been putting the thing back together and getting it in fantastical good shape, but it has developed this drivability problem, and I think it has a check engine light too. Starting's the engine. Yeah, we had a long crank just then. Copyright. It's a long crank, so it took a minute to crank. And look at our idle right here. It's not stable. Look at that. Way up there. 2,000 RPM, 1,900. Let's give it some throttle blurb real quick. See if it comes down. Yeah, she came down a little bit. There's our check engine illuminator right over there in the corner of the dash next to the dash frog. Yeah, the Jeep Cherokees get frogs, not ducks. We're doing Jeep frogs. Anyway, we got 113,432 miles on it. I'm confirming that our engine idle is excessively high. So let's see what we can do about diagnosing this particular issue here. We're gonna swing it on into the shop. No test drive is needed. Let's figure out what the deal is. See, now we're coming back down again now. See, up, there's a idle just went back up and the car lurched. It's not exactly ideal. Check the corners, looking good. We're just gonna nose it in right here. I don't think we need a lift to diagnose this, but I do need some airflow because it's hot and some AC because it's hot. Yeah, look at that idle. Look at that. Put it in neutral or in park or whatever, and it jumped up to 2 grand. Okay. Yeah, let's grab the scan tool and see what these codes are about, and then we'll kind of go from there. So, stay tuned. This is going to be a very good high idle engine out of control video. All right, let's power up our scanner device here, get her plugged in to our onboard diagnostic connector. Plug that guy in right there. Let's get into the ECM and see if she's going to talk to us here. We're going in the scanner. Okay, going down to 2002, automatic ID. It's scanning, talking to the ECM, figuring out who it's talking to, developing a rapport, attempting to communicate, waiting, initializing, and we are in there. 02 Jeep 4-wheel drive Grand Cherokee with 4.7 liter V8. That's the 8. Going into engine. Automatic transmission with AC. I don't even know why that's a menu anymore. Everything has AC. And codes menu. Waiting for communication. Codes only, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. O2 sensor 2, heater failure. O2 sensor 2, shorted to voltage. Fuel pump relay control circuit. An idle air control automatic idle speed motor control circuit shorted. Well, we have an electrical problem. Very clear to me. We've got a code that says we have a short. The IAC is going crazy right now because we're running at 2,000 RPM. So I'm going to laser focus on this PFO 505. We're going to pull up diagrams real quick, wiring diagrams. We're going to look and see if any of these components here, the O2 sensors and the fuel pump relay, have anything in common, like a ground or a harness or things of that nature. But I'm suspecting a wiring harness problem, or maybe even like a ground fault, something like that. Let's go into engine data real quick, and I want to see what that bank 2 sensor 2 O2 sensor is doing. That's a downstream sensor behind the cat converter, so it's not responsible for engine management, but it is responsible to monitor the converter. So that could be a little bit of a clue to tell us kind of what's happening here. Here we go. Upstream, downstream, upstream. There we go. 2 upstreams left and right, and 2 downstreams left and right. We've got one of these not doing anything. See that one right there? That left side downstream, that's driver side, behind the converter. That one's not doing anything. Both the upstreams are... I don't really care for that lack of switching voltage. We're not doing much. But it's also high idle and doesn't know how to run, so those are probably doing what they're supposed to be doing. They are switching high-low, which is what they should do. Very odd. Okay, let's pull up the diagrams and see what these particular circuits have in common. But before that, I'm gonna unplug that IAC and see if this thing will calm down some. I think that's it right there. Idle air control. What'd I do? Pin is backed out. Turn this thing off. Pew! Yeah, look at here. This pin is backing out of the connector. See that? Let's push that pin back in and reconnect the idle air control motor. And then see what it does. That might just be the problem right there. Yeah, see, we have a brand new idle air control. That's a new IAC right there, but it might not be connected. So I put some better light on the subject here. Yeah, look at that. That is a problem. I wonder if the connector broke and it depinned itself. Let's shove that pin back in and see what she does. Take some needle noses here, Tia. Hold that wire and just push it back. Yeah, I'm not feeling the click. There should be a click on that circuit right there, and it did not click. So I think that that connector is physically broken inside. Let's try to plug this thing back in. Yeah, look at that. It pushed the wire right back out. As soon as I tried to connect it, she popped out of there. So let's take a look inside of that sensor. All those pins are aligned. That's good. Oh, I'm getting mosquitoed. I feel mosquitoes. Oh, super itchy. Little buggers. So I might have to put a new connector on this. Perhaps, can't see anything. Perhaps oh, perhaps, I don't know. I'd really like to at least establish that this thing's gonna work before I order a connector and reconnector this connector. Let's try this again. See, we're pushing that back out again. Let's go in here with a pocket driver and shove it on and in and on. Yeah, that just won't go in. It must be sitting sideways or something. There we go. I felt it click in. It probably clicked onto the male pins on the connector, not so much the little plastic tab, or I'm sorry, the male pins on the IAC itself, not the plastic tab. Yeah, that's in. Shove that weather seal in there a little bit now. I think that wire is making connection. Let's go back into the cabin and fire this thing up and see if it's gonna run right. I think we might have just got it. Perhaps. Now it doesn't want to run. There we go. Yeah, it still isn't running that great. Ding. So here, what I'm going to do, we're going into functional test, and I think I need to do a relearn on this IAC. Or never mind, it's relearning itself. Here we go. Look at that. Now we're coming down. Okay. Change desired idle. No, I don't want to change it. I think this menu I just entered allows me to adjust the idle, the programmed idle, or I'm just allowed to take control over idle currently to verify things. Let's try that. Let's step it up. We're 1,000, 1,100, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, it only goes up to 11. Never mind. No, 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 no. There it goes. There it goes. A little laggy. Okay, it's climbing. And back down. All right, so we had bad connection. That's not really common. Hey, uh-oh, we're going back up. That might have just been me. Okay, well, it's back down. It's stable. Interesting. All right. So let's do this. I'm gonna go into codes menu. We're gonna clear it all out. Probably gonna find that O2 sensor code in there because I know it's been there for a long time. Oh, we're gonna clear them out. Key on, engine off, sure. Oh, it won't let me do it. I actually have to shut it off. Resuming. Hey Dave, your part is over there on that box, sir. On my box. Yep, that's it. That's your vent valve. Cool beans. All right. So let's clear them out again. Code's erased. Check engine light is flashing. Don't know why it's flashing. Let's key it back off. Key it back on. Restarting the engine. Rough restart. Okay. So now, go back in to see if there's any DTCs. Okay, nothing crazy so far. Now that pin being backed out of the IAC is not going to have anything to do with the short on those O2s. Let's go back in and just verify that. We're going to look at the O2 data one more time and see that that downstream is kind of flatline, not doing anything. Okay, here we go. We're pulling up O2s. Let's graph them up. All right, I've got them graphed up again, and that left side downstream is not doing anything at all. It's fairly erratic. I'm not appreciating that. So let's go ahead just for fun. I mean, we did fix the immediate concern, which was the idle issue, but let's look into this downstream real quick, and then we'll go from there. Utilizing the all data repair manual, we will find what we're looking for. So we're gonna find Jeep yet again. Jeep, JK, Jeep truck. And we're looking at a Grand Cherokee, 2-wheel drive. We're gonna call it Limited, Laredo, whatever. 4.7 V8. And we want diagrams, electrical, and then we're gonna go down to engine controls, or powertrain management, I'll take that. Then engine controls. So let's decipher what we're looking at here. So real quick, I want to identify which side we're working on. I kept saying left side in the vehicle. Bank 2 sensor 2 is actually going to be the right side, that's passenger side. If you see here at this little diagram of the front of the engine, cylinder number 1 is on the driver's side, front of vehicle, that's the fan right there. So cylinder 2 is here, that means this is bank 2, this is bank 1 right there. So the one that we should be focusing on is going to be passenger side downstream, not driver side downstream. I had my 1s and 2s flippy floppy. So going back over here, I found the O2 sensors. Let's zoom it on in. 2.2 downstream O2 sensors, outlet of right side mini catalytic converter. So this is our guy. And it's also, looks like it's wired in. It shares a ground with bank 1 sensor 2. So both the right side O2 sensors are sharing a ground cable. And if we follow these pink wires up, they're also sharing a power supply. So power and ground for the heater circuit is shared amongst those two. So if we've got a problem in the heater circuit, it would have to be on this side of the splice or on this side of the splice right here, because this sensor the upstream is functioning as designed. So I don't think that's got an issue, so it might be over here. Let's find that idle air control next. All right, found it over here on the next page. Idle air control on throttle body. It's this unit right there. And if we follow our wires out, looks like those are running straight into the ECM. Now the wire in question, let's go check on which specific circuit was the one we were messing with. See what color it was. I believe it would have been the gray and the white. Gray and white. Second one, second position, pin B. Gray and white. Gray and white. So let's go back to our digigram over here. And what we're gonna do is rezoom. We're gonna unhighlight it, and we have a gray and black, brown and white, yellow, black, and violet and black. So now I need to go back and recheck again. So since my colors aren't matching, let's try a different light. All right, so we have white, yellow, gray, and purple. You see that? White, yellow, gray, and purple. So it's not the white wire. Let's just check the diagram for white, yellow, gray, and purple. Make sure we're on the right thing. We got, that's brown. We have purple, we have yellow, white. I can't tell if it's number 2 or number 4. But according to the diagram, it should be number 2, but that should be brown and white. Why does it not look brown? Let's get a different view of it. Disconnected. Brown, okay, I can see where it might be brown, okay. I'll accept the brownness. All right, so it's brown, not gray. Yeah, different color lights will do that to you. And I'm not colorblind. No, I'm not colorblind. Don't even say I'm colorblind. Nobody come in here and comment and start telling me I'm colorblind. Nope. So we're looking at the brown and white. That's our circuit that was depinned. That guy's running straight to the ECM IAC driver number 3. See that right there? IAC drive number 3. No connectors in there. So the IAC and the O2 sensors have nothing in common with the exception of the ECM, okay? So we know we don't have an IAC problem anymore because I just fixed it. So coming over here, back to our downstream. I think we probably just have a shorted sensor in the heater element on this downstream. Let's check that code again. Well, actually, I'm really not interested in checking much of the code. I'm not cutting open the harness on this one, not just yet. But I do have 2 trouble codes. I was dismissive of this 161, but we got a heater problem code on the 161 and then the 158 short to voltage. So that explains why that sensor wasn't switching. And it's not heating because it's got a short. Now, we determined earlier that if any electrical problem is present, it's going to be on this side of the splice and on this side of the splice. So unless these two are shorted together in a harness somewhere, which is not exactly likely, it's possible, but we'll go down there. We'll figure that out when I go look. But since the only possibility is either these 2 wires right here or the sensor itself, I'm gonna go ahead and lean on the fact that it's the sensor itself. And since those are super duper not expensive, I'm gonna get one of those ordered, and we're going to inspect the underside of this truck while that sensor is en route. Before doing such things though, we need to look at that fuel pump control module relay circuit. That's the P1282. Now that one I'm not super duper familiar with, so we're gonna look it up. It's P1282 right there. Entering fuel pump relay control circuit. Oh, that was I went in to find a fix, not so much the diag tree. But anyway, we've got a couple possibilities here. We got a fuel pump relay, got a fuel pump relay control circuit, that's the wire. Control ground, that's the wire. Ignition switch or a PCM issue. Okay. Let's back out of this. So I'm actually kind of trying to diagnose 3 things separately, looking for a common dealio. The only common that we have is the ECM so far. Anyway, let's go into DTC list, P code charts, and we're looking for 1282. Scroll it down to Chinatown. 1282, there she is. And 1282 we've got a flow chart here. Let's just go through it together. Engine on, engine not running. Does the fuel pump relay click? Sure it does, because it has fuel pressure. It's running, see that? So I know the relay clicks because it has fuel. So we're going to step 2. The conditions that set the DTC are not present at this time, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, with the engine running, normal operating temp, monitor the DRB parameters, the DTC while wiggling wiring harnesses, look for perimeter values, look for broken, bent out, push terminals, etc. Yep, so we're looking for wiring wiring problems similar to what we found on that idle air control. Are you done? Thank you. Yeah, so step 2 in this flow chart here just has us looking for wiring issue. Yeah, that's it. That's our flow chart. Find the problem with the wires. Okay, 1282. So next chart, since we did not find the problem. Wait, where's my directions that send me to step 3? There's nothing here. Oh, if the relay doesn't turn on, we go to step 3. So basically the flow chart says you have a wiring problem, sir. Find your wiring problem. Okay, well, like I said, I ordered an O2 sensor. We fixed the idle air control. So let's set this thing up on the lift, get it up in the air, and then take a look at fuel pump controls, and we'll look at that O2 sensor, knock that out. Look at that. Okay, we've got the rack set up, about ready to rock and roll. Dave's on the other side on the controls. Hey, Dave, I need to move this side here. Can you bring this down just ever so slightly? It's contacting the frame in the front. Come on down. There you go. All right, you can run her back up. And we're good on that side. You good on your side, sir? Yeah. All right, we're good for maximum uppage. Run it up, please. It's a levitating Jeep. Okay. Yeah, let's take a look at those O2s. Okay, we're up in the air here, and which one of these is the one in question? It said mini cat. Now that's miniature looking. That's also mini looking. And I think that right there would be our affected O2 sensor. Where's that wire going? Right there. There she is. Straight shot on that wire. There's no damage here. Nothing back here. Yeah, I'm gonna chuck a sensor in it. That's what we're gonna do. Okay. Now this has got to be one of the most horrible camera angles ever, especially for trying to see what we're trying to see here. And we broke that little clip off. It'll be fine. I can fix that. I'm gonna get this guy disconnected. Pull that guy out. There we are, unclickage. So that's our affected circuit here, or connector or whatever. So now let's get a hold of that that sensor and get it spun out of there. I realize that I'm breaking diagnostic protocol a little bit because I'm, for lack of a better term, just chucking parts into this. I feel I can do that without horrible consequence because that thing's not coming out. Because I know this Jeep and we've got some service history on this Jeep. I know this O2 business has been going on for a while, but it has not been much of a concern. But now these trouble codes are starting to stack up. So we're pulling the trigger. There we go. That wasn't great. What happened here? Found that short. Yeah. Let me show you. There it is. Ooh, hot. Hot. We'll use some insulating cloth to protect the flanges from the excessive thermal properties of the exhaust. And then it just tightens itself back up again. How about that? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we found it, because that should not have broken the way I just broke it. Ooh, hot. Ooh, hot. It's getting hotter. The more it comes out, the hotter it gets. There, almost had it too. So close. Yeah, so as soon as we touched that with the wrench, that sensor body broke. Yeah, look at that. That would definitely cause a short on the sensing element and or the heater element. So yeah, I think I found it. So let's where'd that new one go? I got a new one floating around here somewhere. Just bought it. There it is. Let's see what we have in here. Looks like an O2 sensor to me. Let's verify our connector. Now, when I tend to put these in, you guys like to question why I don't put never seize or anti-seize or some kind of lubricant on the threads. You never see me take some and out of the bottle and stick it on there. I'll show you why I don't do that. If we take this cap off, see the threads right there? It's got thread compound already on them from the manufacturer. So I don't have to add any more because it's already there. So, we can come in here and get this guy connected. This one's much less thermally intolerant than the other. I just made that up. I don't even know if that's like a legitimate phrase. Thermal intolerance. Sounded cool though, didn't it? I think it did. Okay, clickage. That's good. And then we'll put this thing back in its little bracket up there. See if I can get it from here while this thing's burning my arm. I'm embellishing slightly. It's not really burning me. I wouldn't do things that deliberately burnt me. That would be silly. Okay. One quick turn with the wrench over here, and then we'll recheck data. There's actually 2 quick turns, but who's counting, right? All right, green subscribe button, come off the locks, lock release, and rib cage down. Jeep coming down, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna fire it back up, check that idle, make sure it's still stable. We're gonna pull up the scan tool data, check the downstream O2, make sure it has some kind of activity that mimics the its counterpart downstream, and then afterwards, the only thing that would be left is going to be that fuel pump control relay circuit. Starting the engine. Hey, did you hear what I said? Okay, that's the first start after I had disconnected that IAC. Let's see how it starts now. Shut it back down. Much more better. Nice, yep, stable idle, good. So, pulling up previous vehiculars, history, Jeep, it's a Jeep. Auf Deutsch. They don't say the J with a J sound, it's a Y sound, Jeep. Jeep, 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 data. And our data is saying, I don't see it. Scroll it. This is why a fast scan tool isn't necessary in the shop, because a slow scan tool will drive you outside of your mind. You push a button, you wait 4 or 5 seconds for it to do anything. Push a button, you wait 4 or 5 seconds to do anything. I wasn't seeing data. Okay, here we go. We've got O2 voltages. Let's graph them up. Right upstream, right downstream. I'm sorry, left downstream. I'm one menu off. There we go. So we have left upstream, right upstream, left downstream, right downstream. The right one's the one we just changed out. That's number 2. Here we go. So we had a bunch of voltage hanging out on this one, and now we do not. Yeah, we're not looking for all kinds of voltage here. We're looking for something steady. These are still a little dissimilar. Maybe I got an issue with the left side too. Or I could have an issue with the left side cat. I wonder if the heaters, let's check trouble codes, because that heater code shows up quick when commanded. Codes only. And we got nothing right now. We'll shut her down. Do a restart. Go back into it and recheck it again. Okay. Nothing yet. Not even that control module relay. A few moments later, and I'm back into the graph again. I'm holding some high idle with my foot. This is not all by itself. I let off the throttle as she drops down just like we're supposed to. See that? And now we're starting to see those downstreams come alive. Might have been a little hasty going in there, but they're doing what they're supposed to be doing right now. This is what we're looking for. They're emulating each other. The graphs are very similar. That means that the activity or the combustion process waste product, i.e. exhaust, the exhaust is going through its catalyst transformation in a similar fashion between both sides, because that's what the downstream sensors do. They monitor the efficiency of the catalytic converters, and based on our current level of monitoring, it's doing what it's supposed to do. I'm repeating what we just went through because I wasn't appreciating this right here. But again, we know it is monitoring that sensor, or that converter. So that could have just been a fluke. Maybe it's adjusting fuel trims, but we're up on idle again. We're gonna bring it back down. She's pretty stable. Yeah, we're oscillating a little bit down here. See that? Yeah, let's take it out for a drive. We need to drive it. Let's put it through a drive cycle. We'll shut her down, restart it, and then check it again, see what she does. Let's unprop the hood prop. This one has blowed out hood struts too. There we go. Do it over here. Coming down. All right, guys, I went out for a test drive up and around the bridge. Fortunately, I was talking to Wifey about something, so I didn't record that, but we just drove around. The idea is to let all of my O2s stabilize and let the engine and the fuel trims all kind of level out. That way it finds itself a level, nominal form of operation. And after coming back, we've been parked here since about here on the graph, and our upstream O2s are doing exactly what they're supposed to be, and our downstreams have now leveled out and they're doing what they're supposed to be. So these guys are reading the efficiency of the converter one more time, and what's coming out of the converter is satisfactory. What we're seeing up here in the upstreams, this is how the ECM monitors and adjusts fuel in order to maintain the right air-fuel ratio, and that's why we have the switching up on the top and we're fairly level and flat planed down on the bottom. This is exactly what it's supposed to look like and what it's supposed to do. So the O2 sensor issue is solved. The idle fluctuation issue is solved. The only thing we haven't touched base on yet is that fuel pump control module relay circuit code, which is not showing back up. So that's going to give it, that's probably going to require one more looky-loo. But we're not going to do that one today. The meat and potatoes of it today was, you know, kind of trust your instrument and use some common sense logic when trying to diagnose a problem. That's I think that's the takeaway here. So that being said, I have nothing more to offer you on this particular video. We're all said and done here. So I will give you guys the sign out with a thank you as always for watching this video. Let me know what you think about this diag and this repair in the comment section down below. And most importantly, have yourselves a fantastic day. See you guys later in a video, in a day, into Jeep, into diag, into transmission, and no, we're not worrying about that ABS light right now.